Name a single role-playing game where you and I haven't flirted.
This one, yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Primordial.
Oh, true, you died.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Cackling Jackal. We're here filming another session of Valenheart. If you haven't watched the others, go watch them. Let's just get straight into it.
Lovely. Cool.
Okay, so you guys have just met Magnus Bane, and Magnus Bane has just said, let's go get a drink.
Yes.
I'm always keen for a drink.
Yeah. So you guys exit out of Zoromash's humble home and proceed through the Golden Bazaar. Now, at this time of night, it's about 10 o'clock at night after the pit fight. There's not a lot of people in the Golden Bazaar. You guys do see Kentha is still there, the watch sergeant of the Sunlit Corsairs for the Golden Bazaar. And he's kind of sitting there a little bit bored. You do notice that the two winged guard that you saw earlier, who were talking to him, have disappeared. Apart from that, the shops are all packed up. There are no children. It seems like everybody's getting ready to call it a night. You guys saying anything on the way, or do we just want to go to where's it Magnus is going?
I'm just going with Magnus.
Okay. Let me give you a brief description of Magnus, because I realised I didn't actually do that last time.
I've got some.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So human in his late 40s, salt and pepper hair. Oh, I've got a note saying, found him! Like,
Okay.
literally.
It's a good note to have.
She actually does have
I
that.
actually do.
Yeah.
There's even an exclamation mark. And I believe also you said that he's got like a little bit of like a goatee or something, and he's
Yeah.
got kind of warm skin. I remember he smelled like booze.
Yeah. So he's, it looks like his hair and his beard are cutted with some sort of serrated knife, some sort of like maybe field knife. It's irregular
Self-cut
cut.
job?
Yeah, definitely a self-cut job. His skin is marked
Good name for a
with
band.
tiny little scars that mark a lifetime of adventure. His eyes are, if you look very closely, his eyes are gold and red. But if you look long enough, his left eye slowly turns black.
Not weird at all.
He wears long red robes trimmed with black and embroidered with golden runes. His boots are simple travelling boots. Sturdy, but not very fashionable. He's a simple silver dagger at his belt, a few pouches, and as close as you guys are now, he smells like grog, sweat, and smoke.
Do you mean smoke as in like,
Opium.
yeah, like drug smoke or cigarette or whatever the equivalent is?
Just like
or wood
burnt
fire smoke,
wood.
burnt
Yeah.
wood.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I recognize these runes at all? Would I?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay, cool.
How much does Zoromash know about Magnus Bane?
You know that he bet against you, and then when you won that fight and you lost a lot of money, he confronted you.
Yep.
You know he's a drunkard. He's generally considered a drunkard. You also know that he has a bit of a gambling problem as well.
Cool. So that is a 21.
21. So there's runes of glamour, some sort of illusion magic. There's runes of anti-scrying. And there's one that talks about controlling flames.
Awesome. I would like to. Wow, my pen is just decided to
spare, it's
stop
alright.
working. Oh no, I've got my pencil case. Ah, now it works. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to zoom in.
Just like,
Yeah.
No, I cast Alter Self and do that little, that eagle eye thing. Sorry, I wanted to focus in on what I meant. Like the ones about illusion.
Yep. They seem to be talking about.
Like physical characteristics or about like.
Okay.
you know,
What was your
height.
Arcana check? Did you go?
21.
21. Okay. You see that those ones are mostly embroidered on the left side of his body. And they seem to be talking about projecting an illusion to hide what's really there.
Okay.
Beyond
cool.
that,
Something.
it's
Yeah.
very similar.
Awesome.
Very simple.
So, Magnus,
Yes.
made any bad bets lately?
Bet against her. That was a bad one.
Bad.
It was a bad one.
I
But to be
did
honest,
pretty
I
well
would
on that.
have done the same.
I know a lot of people who did.
Yes.
You didn't.
I know. I did
You
well.
just watch Magnus just starts glaring at you.
Nice.
Just a little bit. He's still just carrying that pile of gold.
Well, yeah.
But
My
did you?
coin ain't big enough for this.
I give him a little kiss on the shoulder because I cannot reach your cheek.
No, you cannot.
What were you saying so much?
Did you make a whole bunch of money on a fight where someone may have completely annihilated a minotaur?
A bit of gold, not as much as I would have liked.
Well, the odds on me weren't that out of proportion.
Yeah, the odds on you weren't amazing.
Good to see you haven't changed, Zaramash, since we last met.
I never change.
You haven't washed either.
Doesn't get laid either. Sorry.
Wow.
Kick on Zoramash Day. Sorry, buddy.
It's a long day ahead
So I'm
of
actually
us,
trying to
guys.
think of something to say back to that, and so is James.
Alright. So,
I'm too quick.
Magnus begins leading you guys into the Canal District, which is sort of the lower, less fortunate district of the city. It's called the Canal District because about 100 years ago, a fire swept throughout the city, and they built these canals in as sort of a fire break, so that it wouldn't destroy the city. Sarmash, from where he's taking you, you gather he's probably taking you to the Leaky Hull.
Yes, the Leaky Hull.
A bit of a dive bar. But he leads you down a weathered stone staircase that takes you down to the water level of the canal. The houses here are multiple stories, but built in a way that they're kind of supporting each other. If one went down, it's not unfeasible that they all would go down in a row. Yeah.
Also known as the Domino District.
Yeah, the Domino District. That's a good name. I'm gonna steal that one. Domino District.
This is what happens when I have my coffee, guys.
Well, please take your coffee more often. Okay. At the end of that canal, interesting facade greets you. It seems to be when you look at a pirate ship, there's the captain's quarters, and it has it's actually nice wood, very solid, and it's got sort of a set of double doors that are gilded in silver. Just at the end of this shitty row of houses in this canal district. But Magnus walks up and just opens up the door, and immediately you guys are greeted with the smell of stale ale.
Another good name for a band.
Another good name for a band. Stale ale, just stale
No,
air.
not so good.
And you're also greeted with the sounds of multiple people drinking, gambling, and having a good time.
Like, look over to him like, is this your place?
I fall asleep here some nights when Lucky allows us to. And he walks in.
I'm assuming Zoramash has been here before.
Yeah. So you know that the interior, and as you guys are looking inside where Magnus walked in, the interior is decorated like the captain's quarters of a ship. There is a long bar on the right hand side that seems to be made from several large barrels that have just kind of been bolted to the ground, tied together, and there's a large, like very nicely finished plank of wood that just stretches across it to create the bar top.
I like the craftsmanship.
Right, it's very nice craftsmanship.
I appreciate this as one from nature myself. Well done.
There is a series of circular tables that dot the landscape. It's actually, the way that the tables are all set up, it's very hard to make your way through it with the amount of people. And there are several dozen people currently inhabiting the interior of the Leaky Hull. Several tables seem to be set up for gambling with small piles of gold and dice in front of the patrons that sit there. Disparate souls sit with assortment of mugs, steins, wine flutes, and goblets, and don't seem to be paying attention to high culture. You can see that there is some sort of brown, murky liquid in a nice crystal wine flute. In fact, the half-orc who was drinking from it is sloshing it all down the front of his front.
Cool.
Got a little bit of culture shock.
Yeah, a little bit of culture shock. Yeah, definitely. You also see sitting on top of the bar is a halfling. Wild mop of hair. He seems to be wearing a mishmash of nice clothes that are tattered and dirty, and a nice pair of long leather pants that seem to have several large cuts up the side. Like he's probably worn it while something has been attacking him.
This is my friend Lucky.
You also do notice he is missing one eye.
Or maybe not so lucky.
But he's just sitting on top of the bar.
No, twice lucky, he's not blind.
He's just sitting on top of the bar, just drinking out of a large... It looks almost like a bowl.
Like a fish bowl.
Well, sort of, yeah. And he's just sitting there and he's just drinking out of that while patrons come up and pour themselves a drink from the keg next to him. And you watch as the patron seems to just be flicking a bit of gold into a small bucket nearby.
I'm gonna try and I don't care if it's on a table or something, but I'm just gonna grab the nearest glass receptacle for the nearest container of liquids.
Yep.
That is empty.
Okay.
If it's not empty, I'm just gonna pour it out.
It's
Okay.
the chamber pot.
I thought you'd skull it.
Nearby the entrance is a coat rack set up. There's also a small table, which seems to be there's a little pot plant there. So you dig out the plant that's sitting there, give it a good wipe out with an old cloth that you have, and now you have this pot.
Cool. I'm gonna start filling it up,
Okay.
and I'll give him some gold as well.
Okay. How much gold are you gonna give him?
How big is the pot?
The pot's pretty decent. It's probably maybe 3 or 4 drinks worth.
Okay. How many rupees could one fit in this pot? No. All right. So.
You've been here.
I'm gonna give him-
You've been here before. You know that Lucky has a pay what you want sort of system, but if you don't pay
What he's
a respectable amount, sometimes people go missing.
2 gold.
Okay, you flick 2.
It's just ale. Is it crappy ale?
It's moderate.
2 gold, and I'll fill it up most of the way.
Okay, you flick 2 gold into the bucket, and Lucky looks up to you and thanks, friend.
No worries, Lucky.
Make a perception check for me, Leon and Leah. Corey and Torbeck, sorry.
Oh, that's not too bad.
22.
Not as good as that. I got a 16.
Okay, you both see as Zoromash walks up to the bar to pour the ale in the pot plant. In the pot.
Another good name for a band.
Ale in the pot plant.
Anal the pot plant.
Alright, run that one down too.
Domino District, Stale Ale, and Ale in the pot plant.
Alright, you do notice that in the corner of the bar, not too far away from where Zoromash and Lucky are talking, you do see a hooded figure that is talking to a failing. Now, this is a good time to mention that I'll talk about it in another video, but I have created a new race for my world called Failings. I've changed the way that elves work to accommodate for that, and that should be coming out soon, so you guys will have access to that hopefully soon. But check out our social media for that. But there's a failing there. You notice it's male. He has curved ram horns and a bit of a goat scruff when you're looking at him, which you know is animalistic features is common for failings. And you watch as the failing pushes over a moderate amount of gold, and the hooded figure just quickly scoops it up into a bag and hands him over a small vial. That's all you see, Torbeck. Corey,
Can I insight check that as well after you do this?
Yeah, make an insight check. Corey, you notice that the small vial is of a thick silver liquid. And it's a small vial, probably about that big, and kind of passes it over, and just immediately the failing turns, puts it in his pocket, and leaves the Leaky Hull.
It kind of looks like, Mercury?
Mercury, yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Same viscosity.
Can I just do a quick, arcana or something? I just want to know,
Make
I know what it is?
Make an arcana check.
Insight was total of 13.
13. They are definitely attempting to hide it, but not as much as you would probably expect for such a crowded place.
Yeah. Were they looking in our general direction, or was it just a bit their own kind of thing and I happened to see it?
You just happened to see it.
Okay. Does it look like there was a... this might be too much for what I rolled, but does it look like there was like malicious intent behind it, or was it like a personal gain kind of deal?
It's hard to tell from the hooded figure,
Yeah.
but from the failing, it definitely seems to be a sort of excitement.
Okay. And last thing I was trying to see with that, would I have an idea as to how much gold, like a ballpark figure, was pushed across the table?
Ballpark, couple hundred.
Couple hundred.
Sorry.
17 on arcana.
17 on Arcana. So being half elf, this is one of the things that'll come out in the half elf failing things. You have a natural tendency to be able to sniff out Arcana. It comes as the elves are not natural; they actually have an innate ability to kind of sense the poison that can be Arcana. It's definitely arcane.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you're not sure.
No. Alright. I guess the only other thing would be... how reputable does this place look?
Not reputable at all.
Cool. And the patrons?
A mix. There's a lot of definitely people who would be at home in the Canal District.
Yeah.
You also see a few people you noticed milling around the Golden Bazaar earlier that day.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a quick look around and see if there's anyone I know.
Make a perception check.
I would like to go up to Lucky and
Yep.
actually, can I describe just an empty glass doesn't need to be clean. Just as a walk up.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Next to the where the keg is, there was
Yeah.
a series of somewhat clean, somewhat
Cool.
looks like somebody's just finished with a drink and turned it
Yeah.
upside down to let it drip out.
Yeah. Well, I cast prestidigitation on it anyway.
Yep.
And then fill it up.
Yep.
And I toss a silver? No, 2 copper.
2 copper? Okay. Lucky looks up and he just gives you a little bit of a glare.
Alright, another 3 copper.
You know what?
Just for scale, he paid 2 gold.
But it was like huge, mine's a little glass.
I just feel like copper and gold are...
He looks up at you and he looks you up and down and he just turns back to what he was doing.
Alright.
Probably doesn't know who you are anyway.
Torbeck's gonna look around while they're doing that and see
I
if
look
anyone's
great.
gambling. And
I just had a fight. I'm covered in blood.
What did you get for your perception check?
I got 14.
14. You look around, you notice a few people, not too many, people you already know would come here. Given
Just
that,
I know of them, I don't really know them.
Oh, you've spoken to them. They maybe work in the Golden Bazaar or live nearby the Golden Bazaar and the God's Shadow.
Okay. Anyone of note?
No. You do notice that one of, I think his name was Baldric, the smith that works out of the Golden Bazaar, one of his sons is there. But this isn't too uncommon. And he is gambling at one of the tables. And you watch as one table of there's 2 elves, a halfling, and a half-orc. You watch as the half-orc just jumps up and goes, yes! While the others just toss gold over to his side of the thing. They are definitely gambling. There seems to be several tables set up specifically for gambling.
What games are they playing? Is it a dice game or a card game?
They are rolling dice.
I'm gonna sit and watch for a little bit,
Okay.
and I want an insight check to see if anyone's like cheating to get in their favor, or if it's a relatively fair game. My gut instinct is someone's cheating to try and rig it in their favor.
Make an insight check.
But I want to see if I can determine. Ooh, that is 10.
Okay, so you walk up to one of
Not bad for
you
free.
walk up to that table with the 2 elves, the halfling, and the half orc, and they've just gotten a new game. You watch as all the players at the table reach down and grab the dice in front of them. Most of them have 6-sided dice, but the half-orc has got 2 6-sided dice and 1 8-sided dice. And they are all rolling, and you watch as there seems to be some quick calculations, some gold is put on the table, and they reveal the dice, and then the half-orc jumps up again and yes! You gather the other players at the table don't seem to be alarmed, confused, wary of the fact that this half-orc has an 8-sided dice instead of a 6-sided dice. So, yeah.
So there's the half-orc or orc who's sitting at the table.
Yep.
And who else is sitting at the table with him? Just
2 elves and a halfling.
2 elves and a halfling. I lean over to the halfling and I'm like, friend, do you mind teaching me the ways of this game? It seems quite interesting. I noticed your friend has a different dice and you guys have what I would call a regular dice. I'm a little confused how this works, but I am a bit of a betting man myself. If you could teach me the ways, I'm sure I could throw some coin in.
You never played Devil's Dice before?
Oh, I must admit, it's one of those things that I...
It's everywhere in Delagan.
It's my first time to Delagan, so...
Oh, well, lucky you. Lucky.
Yeah, I noticed him. He's
Is this guy drunk?
seemed a little
Very drunk. Very drunk. He says, it's called Devil's Dice because the goal is you roll 3 6s and you win everything. He picks up his dice, the regular 6-sided dice. The buy-in's 50 gold.
Ooh.
You roll these 3 6-sided dice. Add up your total. Whoever has the highest total wins.
So then why does he have a different dice?
So you can pay an extra 50 gold and upgrade one of your dice, maximum 1, to an 8-sided dice. Increases your odds, but increases your bet. Winner takes the pot in the middle. You can also spend 25 gold and re-roll one of your 6-sided dice if you wish.
Sounds like an interesting game.
Do you want to play a game? Do you want to play around?
So the 50...
We don't have the cash for this, do we? We don't have 50 gold.
I've got a lot of gold.
Oh,
You got
that's right,
800
just won a whole
gold,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, you won a whole lot, yeah.
So the 50 gold buy-in,
Yep.
it gives you 1 chance to roll.
It gives you 3 6-sided dice that you roll. You can pay another 25 to re-roll one of those d6.
Only 1.
Yep. Or up front, you can put 100 gold in and get 2 d6 and 1 d8.
I'll put 50 gold in. I'll give it a shot.
Okay. You put 50 gold in the center. You watch as a half-orc puts 100, and everybody else just puts 50 in. So, 100. Yep.
So I mark off 50 gold on my sheet
Yep.
right now.
So what are you doing
Drinking and
now? Oh,
trying to gather what Magnus wants us to do.
yeah, I'm just gonna sit with you and... Yeah.
Cool. I'll be watching this then.
Alright, so I roll
I
now.
kind of just passively taking a look at
For some
Yep,
reason,
roll
my
that.
ale tastes a bit like dirt.
Not great.
When you say that, I put my hand on the
I got a total of
cusp
9.
vegetation to get rid of the blood and stuff.
Right. Cool.
What's everyone else's dice? I'll see if I want to re-roll anything.
So everybody is using. Well, you don't reveal the dice until.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Beck doesn't.
Good thing I wasn't listening. So, if you want, you can chuck another 25 gold in to re-roll one of those
Uh-huh.
before you reveal.
I think I'll...
You watch as the half-orc tosses one in.
No, I leave mine as it is.
Alright, reveal your dice. You watch as the 2 elves reveal that they both rolled 8. The halfling reveals that he rolled a 13. And the half-orc rolled a 14.
9. 9!
Half-orc wins again, so he just grabs a pot and just sweeps it into his side.
That's an interesting game.
There's a couple of other rules as well if you're interested.
Yeah?
You roll 3 1s, you can double bet, your total bet, to re-roll all of them. But only when you roll 3 1s. You roll 3 6s, you win instantly. Doesn't matter if...
What if there's more than 1? What if 2 people roll 3 6s?
Then you split the pot.
Yeah, cool.
You roll a 1, 2, 3 consecutively, 25 gold back. 4, 5, 6, 50 gold back.
What about 3 the same?
3 of the same, nothing.
Damn it, I have 3 the same.
Yeah, 3 threes.
3 threes.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
You want to play another round, friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll play one more round.
I'll go.
What are you
Trying
going
to
to
get under this card?
I will go.
Okay.
Are you talking to me?
I'm gonna, yeah, big fella.
Yeah.
Want to spot me 50 gold?
Sure. You good for it?
You watch as the elves stand up to let you guys in.
Ah,
Alright, I'll mark off 100 gold.
Yep.
I give him 50.
Cool.
And I'll put 50 in myself.
I wink at the elf closest to me.
Yep.
I'm gonna sit
Please
still.
keep track of your own bets, because
Yeah, I'm marking it.
So I'm putting down 100. So I
100?
have an 8-sided.
so you have an 8-sided, and then you're both putting 50 in each.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
200. The half orc puts 100, and the halfling puts in 50. So the pot is 350 at the moment.
Yep.
All right. Roll your dice.
So hang on, if you get 3 6s, do you beat a 6, 6, and an 8?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it's good devil's dice.
Ready.
And also I'm going to put in another 25 and reroll.
Okay.
We'll do the same.
Okay. So is the halfling.
Is the orc still doing a d8?
Yes, he is. Alright. Reveal your dice. You watch as the halfling reveals he rolled a 9. The orc rolled a 10.
Oh, I got a 7. Wasn't the
7?
greatest of rolls, I must
14.
admit.
14.
14.
Alright. You two split the pot. You both get 212 gold and 5 silver.
Cheers.
Is that including the money we put in for the...
That's the whole pot.
the whole
Yeah,
thing?
so
Cool.
Yeah.
So how much was it, sorry?
212 gold and 5 silver.
minus 50 for me.
Yeah, have it.
Cheers, champ.
212 minus 50 is 160.
It's a very common game in Delagarn.
Cool.
Is that... Do I... Okay. Cool, so I still mark off the 25 that I paid.
Yes.
Cool, yep. I just did that. I'm all good. So now it's up.
Alright. Another round, friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this one.
You gonna watch this one?
Oh,
So
no,
just
I don't have my razor. Too bad.
just Corey and
I'll do it again as well. I'll put 100 in this time.
100 from Zoromash, Corey.
I'm just gonna do 50 this time.
Oh, actually, no, what? No, I'll go one more time.
50 or 100?
Let's go 50.
Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do the 50 as well.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go for 50.
So everybody's just doing 50.
Let me just mark that off.
Halfling puts in 50 and the orc puts in 100.
Oh, the bad.
Put some
Doesn't matter.
notes in here. Just put-
Halfling puts in another 25.
Thank you.
You have to take the new roll, don't you, to spend 25 even if it's lower.
You watch as the half orc puts in another 25.
I'll put in a 25 as well.
Okay. What about you guys?
I'm gonna leave it.
I'm gonna sit.
You gonna sit?
I'm sitting.
Alright,
You
reveal.
put 25 in once, yeah?
Yes,
Yes.
maximum
Cool,
once.
yep.
Alright, so reveal your dice. The halfling reveals an 11. The half orc reveals a 13.
13.
14, motherfuckers!
All
No,
right.
more than 16, sorry.
So you get the pot, 375.
6 and 6 is 12 plus 4.
Shit.
Didn't even have to re-roll.
Nice.
I was gonna try re-roll the 4. I'm like, nah, chances of getting like that. How much did I get?
375.
Hell yeah!
At this point, Magnus walks over and says, well, this is all interesting and I'm good for a good gamble. Unless you guys are going to go spot me some money, we have something to talk about.
Alright.
I look at, when it says spot your money, I look at him, I look him up and down. I'm like,
Make a perception check.
alright, good choice. Ooh, there it is. That's not great. That was a 9 plus 4. 13.
He seems to have a lot of patches on his belt. Of those that you can see, none of them look to be as heavy as one filled with gold, Marky.
I say I'll spot you 50 gold for a favour.
For a favour? What favour would that be?
When the time comes, I'll let you know.
Don't know if that's worth 50 gold, friend.
Take it or leave it. And I've got the 50 gold sitting there and I'm just like chinking it in my hand.
Take the
Chink, chink,
furball out of the forest and he becomes a gangster.
Chink, chink, chink.
Let's talk about what we need to talk about first, and then let's see if you still want to make a deal.
It's a one-time offer, but if you don't want it, that's fine.
He reaches out and takes it.
Deal?
I'm just gonna lose all my money that I've made. I made it again as well if we're doing another round.
No, I'm gonna take
I'm
my
out.
5 silver, go over to Lucky, put the 5 silver in, and grab another drink.
Okay.
I'm gonna, watch him.
Grab another drink, mark up the 5 silver. Magnus, you notice, doesn't actually put the gold into the table.
That's fine.
That's alright.
Kind of plops it in one of his
Uh,
pockets.
Scared, Magnus?
I'm scared of a lot of things. Gambling isn't one of them.
I was half expecting him to reply with you-ish, but
Scared. Potter.
Magnus is impulsive, but he's not stupid.
okay.
Alright, so you guys move to, or Magnus leads you guys to a small table towards the back. It's a little bit quieter back here, not too much. Corey and Torbeck, you do notice that that hooded figure has moved and left, seems to have left the Leaky Hull.
Okay.
You guys, you notice that Magnus seems to have what looks to be almost like a small vase that he's drinking out of. And it seems to be a theme going on here with shitty cups. He says,
Here's what did I pick up?
you just picked up it as a sort of very similar to this sort of glass.
Oh, cool.
It's chipped in several places, and it definitely was, before you pressed the digitator, it's still wet from the
Yeah.
previous.
Probably had some mildew on it.
I look at all the chips and everything else, and I've spent a minute concentrating on it, and I made it for you.
Yes!
Very nice.
I should charge Lucky for that.
I'm like, yeah, actually, I said go to Lucky and says, I noticed you have a few chip glasses around here. I'll do you a favour. I'll fix them all for you for a free drink.
A free drink.
Yeah?
Here's the thing though, mending you actually need the missing bit from.
Oh, you're true. Let me double check that.
So if you don't have the little bits of glass that the chip came from.
Can I not just find them all on the floor?
You pick up several random bits of glass that
I
might
just
have fit it, and you
mended
can
it.
fix Corey's glass and maybe one other, but
Yeah, I'll say pick your favourite glass. I'll fix it for you.
he hangs you the one he's drinking out of.
I look at it and I'm like, oh no, not a. What describe the glass to me so I know what
So
I'm
it's
at.
it looks at first appearance it looks like a crystal goblet. It looks like it's banded with gold and it's got small crystalline gems. But as you pick it up, it's fake gold. It's like glass gems. Like
Yeah.
it's something you might pick up at a dollar store.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What's broken on it? What's
It has got a big V-shaped crack in it.
Oh, just a crack, so the pieces are all there. I look at it and I hold it up to the light. This is a quality drinking vessel, my friend.
You imagine if somebody tried to drink out of it, it would turn into a dribble glass.
Yeah. So I hold on to it, put it in my hands, and I focus for a couple of seconds, and then it's like this faint glow kind of as the crack just comes out, basically like that repairer spell in Harry Potter.
Yep.
There you go, good as new.
You two notice that as he does that, that light, that glow that comes out, is like a very faint grey. It's an interesting colour.
And I just kind of go and proceed to detect the dirty glass too.
Okay. You add a shine to the crystals and add shine to the fake gold, and he picks it up. Free drink.
Cheers, friend. And I reach over and go, I'm the Wanderer. What was your name? I don't think I caught it.
Lucky.
Ah, I can tell.
It's the missing eye.
Yeah.
Several scars. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm like, so, have you got a suggestion between these fine selected vintages of beverages you have behind the bar?
So you look behind the bar and there are several, what seems to be some nice decanters, some nice crystal bottles, all seems to be filled with that same murky brown liquid.
I play along, I pretend that this is a fine establishment.
He reaches up and he grabs a very nice crystal decanter you gather has probably been stolen from a higher noble family. He reaches up and grabs it and he says, finest vintage of shit. You
Fair.
want it or not?
Oh, yes, cheers, fill me up.
He fills you up.
Oh, mate.
I just go, I'm sorry about
that's
this.
good
This
shit.
is my first time. I just finished fighting the tips. Let me repay you. And I just prestidigitate all like everything, basically make it all clean, including the counter.
The counter is the one thing in this place that is immaculately clean.
Ooh, I like it. Very Luke Cage.
You notice that Halfling, not Halfling, Lucky seems to look at you with less of a scowl now. You fought in the pits, eh?
I look down at my rips and my blood and stuff and go,
Well, to be fair, that could happen to anybody in the Canal District.
can't squint at him.
Good luck. Maybe I'll see you next fight. Alright, what are you guys doing?
Magnus.
Yeah, let's follow Magnus, find out what he wants
Wait,
to
we're
talk
doing
about.
Magnus?
Yeah, we're going to do Magnus. All
You
three
never
of
know,
us.
Magnus might be into that.
Okay. Won't discriminate.
Okay, so you
Okay,
go back to
fine.
that table where Magnus was sitting. And you see now he's just gently sipping from the glass. He is using his right hand as he's doing it.
Do I notice there's anything going on with his left hand?
His left hand is just folded in front of him on the table. He just seems to be using it to lean against the table like I'm doing now.
Yep.
And he's just drinking gently.
Are his fingers visible from where he's leaning?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm just checking he wasn't doing like trying to slide of hand in.
No, he just seems to be sitting here patiently waiting for you. For as much of the description as you got that Magnus is a drunkard, he seems to display an impressive amount of control.
So he's a high functioning drunkard.
Could be a ruse.
Maybe he's gone sober.
Maybe he's got a glyph of sobering, so every time he drinks alcohol, he drinks.
$1 million idea.
Glyph of sobriety.
Alright.
Sobriety.
So, you want a favor from me, I want a favor from you.
You want your staff.
I need my stuff.
Who did you lose it to again?
I lost it in a bet to, he says he lost it in a bet to, you know what? Here. He says, I lost it in a bet to the Sun Lord himself. Zoramash, the Sun Lord, is one of the master merchant lords of the city.
Yep.
Called that because he has a golden mask that he wears in public. You know, he's a human, he's a male, he's Cragalandian, so he has sun-kissed skin. They come from the south.
From the Craglands.
Yeah. You also know that he is the master of law in the city.
Okay.
And he is known because he currently, although all the masked merchant lords own the casino, he runs the casino as well.
So what would you say is the law master? Or
He's the master of law.
master of law?
Yeah. His nickname is the Sun Lord. He wears a golden mask. I lost it in a bet to the Sun Lord. He bets me and ordered an amount of gold for something of equal or lesser value. My staff is greater value, but I put it up anyway because every time I've lost my staff, I do this and it reappears.
I'm like looking expectantly when he clicks.
Not this time.
Didn't happen last time.
So you're a cheat.
I do what I need to do.
What?
Well, looks like someone's thought about your cheap parlor tricks.
I wouldn't call them cheap parlor tricks, but yes.
What could somebody offer you that would make you even risk your stuff?
Several tens of thousands of gold.
And why would your stuff be so important to them?
I don't think it was so important to them as though... I've heard rumours that, yes, humiliation, but I've also heard rumours that they're a bit of collectors. They keep an assortment of collections in their vault.
So you're asking us to help you get it back?
I'm helping you. I'm asking you to help me break into their vault. I get my staff.
The vault of the Sun Lord.
The vault of the Masked Merchant Lords.
So not just one.
Sorry.
So multiple
The
lords.
vault of the Sun Lord and the others.
Yes.
Right.
By the way, the other merchant lords, their nicknames are the Empress and the Warmonger.
Well, if they're collectors, and I'm assuming this stuff is valuable, then it is safe to probably assume that the other items in said vault would be of equal or greater value. And this could be quite the lucrative business deal for us if we decide to help.
We're already fugitives.
Or
Yeah,
a suicide mission.
that is the best part. We're already fugitives. We can't be double fugitives.
I feel like you can.
Well, we can find out.
Like the wanted posters just get reprinted in another state.
Yeah, but... Wait, hang on. I'm actually not a fugitive. I just realised you two are fugitives.
Do you want to drop your disguise and then see if you're a fugitive or not?
At this, I softly, and by softly, not so softly, kick Corey in the ankle.
Okay. You're trying to do it discreetly.
It's under the table. We're sitting at a table, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
just whack me out.
The whole table moved as I...
A couple of people just look over to you guys and go back to their business.
And I'm like,
It's a nice punch in there.
look, I kind of don't know if we're going to have much choice here.
Oh, I'm not arguing. I was just calling it out.
I'm just saying, I don't see too big a issue other than the fact that we're already wanted. Or you two especially.
I don't have a problem with it, to be honest.
We're already wanted, but Delagan is a relatively safe haven.
For you.
Well, for those of us who aren't furbolgs.
Okay,
What?
and that I kick him under the table.
Oh, I'm a Goliath, thank you.
Let's not pretend to be people we are not.
He's looking at me like that. And I look at then I look at him just a little bit more intently.
He has more than one cheap parlor trick.
I look at his left arm.
Hmm?
Go back
Looks
in here.
normal.
No,
Okay.
like a, and then go. In the ruins of illusion.
The other thing we could
He says, that's for other people's benefit, not just my own. And you watch as he clicks his left hand this time, and the illusion drops. And you see his left hand and part of his left side of his body is withered and burnt. And
Oh God! Put it away, sir.
and some would say even maybe demonic.
Yeah.
And he clicks again and the illusion reappears.
That's so cool.
I look at him and say, well, it looks like we
We do have one
Both.
other option.
have something to hide. But yeah, I'm listening.
We were told to bring our friend Magnus here. I'm saying this completely in front of him,
Yeah.
but speaking to him in third person. We're told to bring him to Serena.
Yes.
That is true.
Correct.
No one said it had to be with his staff or with his permission.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
I feel
In saying
pretty
that-
useless without his staff though.
I am very useless without my staff.
Oh, shit, he admitted
It's
it.
even easier to take him by force. Then.
Don't even
My
have to force him.
my hand is a result of the curse of the staff. But with the staff, I can cast spells that require two hands, even if I do not have them. Without it, a lot of my spells are useless to me.
Do we need him for his cheap parlor tricks?
No, we need him for his good stuff.
I feel like there's too many benefits to helping him, and not enough by just taking him by force.
Yes, well, I'm sure that you know the feeling of not being welcome in your own home.
Corey,
Friend.
make a history
Don't
check.
have a home.
Precisely. I need a lie. If I...
Look, you'll only not be welcome if we get caught, and in which case we're probably fucked anyway. So, really, what's there to lose other than your life?
17.
Okay. You have, in the brief niggling in your mind, you do remember a hearing about your father talk about a staff that did have this sort of effect on somebody, a cursed item, but for the life of you, you can't remember the name of it or any of the details. You just remember that this item is relatively known in the magic community.
Alright. You know what? I'm gonna say that then. I'm just gonna go, yeah, I'm just gonna say, like taking a sip out of my glass and just... You weren't the first owner of this staff, were you?
Definitely not. This staff is older than most elves.
Yeah. I've heard of it. For life of me, I can't remember the name, but, I've heard of it.
History calls it Staff of Solace the Unburnt. I prefer to call it Magnus Bane. Which brings back your memory. King Solus of Erlin, Erlin is one of the remnant kingdoms outside Westreach. It's a Phoenix Ashwood staff. It's a staff that is made from wood that grew out of the ashes of the Phoenix Queen of Erlin. Basically, you know that Solus the Unburnt was the king of Erlin. He was facing some troubles. He had an invading army on his doorstep. He made a deal with a demon named Veyruun. Veyruun betrayed him, and Solus trapped both their souls inside that staff.
So how did you acquire the...
I came about it in my travels. After I graduated from the Amethyst Spire, I spent some time as a wanderer.
Hey, me too.
Came across it in my travels, and I touched it, and now I'm cursed to wield it.
And the Amethyst Spire, that's where you met Sora and his father?
Aye, we were friends at the Amethyst Spire. I was there when Serena's mother died, and when her father died too.
Any idea why she wants you?
I tried raising her for a while, couldn't do it, left her in the care of the Amethyst Spire. But before I retired as a traveller at the Amethyst Spire, I accumulated many titles, many bits of fame. Just bringing my notes up here. He starts naming off a couple of titles that he received, and you guys collectively have heard of a few. He has the titles of Red Traveller, the First Flame of Erok, which is the continent, which is a title granted to the powerful guardians of the Burnt Wastes, which is the elemental plane of fire. It's sort of like an ambassador between the two planes. He also has the title of Magus, which is a title of distinguishment given to powerful mages. He also says that he was briefly recruited into the Guardia Arcana, but retired shortly after joining. And you also know that Magnus is graduated from the Amethyst Spire as High Evocationist.
While all this is going on,
All of which is impressive. Yeah. That's titles of distinguishment that indicates a very powerful mage.
so yeah, while this is going on though, I'm still talking with Zoramash about taking on this job. And I ask him, these masked lords of Deligan, how did they come to power? Like, you don't have a system of government as such. Do they not just take what they want and assume power themselves?
Okay, so the previous ruler of Delagan was sort of under like a monarchy type system, which the monarch responded to the High Vale Council. About 10 to 12 years ago, there was a assassination attempt it resulted in success. The city was thrown into disarray, and the three masked merchant lords were in positions of power. They took control collectively, and since then they have, used that control essentially.
Do they?
Zormash relays that to you.
Oh, thank you, Zormash. That was very well put.
Very well put and concise.
And very concise. Do they kind of run it for their own benefit, or do they run it for the benefit of everyone? Because my initial feeling coming to this town was that it's kind of like the wealthy look after themselves, and they're kind of like, they're in
Very
positions
much
of
so.
power.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
And I use that, and I'm like,
Even from the perspective that the wealthy are completely separated from the rest of Delagan,
Yeah.
at the top or at one of the levels of the pyramid itself.
and I looked at Zormash, and I'm like, you're high within the ranks among the lows and the low people here, and if you're happy with that, that's fine. But I see a lot more potential in you. I reckon you could take this place by storm, and what better way to stick it to them than to take their stuff? I'm like, ignore the little one. She knows nothing. She knows of not with what we speak. But I'm like, would it not earn you a title and respect amongst the majority of the population here in Delagan if you helped take them down? Just down a peg. Maybe even earn their respect. They don't have to like you, but they can respect you.
I have the respect of some of the more wealthy in Delagan.
That's the point. That's up to you.
And there's much lower than me.
I'm sure there are.
I'm happy with my life, and I prefer to get respect my way.
Fair enough.
So how are you planning on getting this off then? We need the star for Sorona.
How about I tell you what the information I've managed to gather about the vaults, and then you make a decision.
I'm already in, but tell me anyway.
I'm in.
Zoramash. There is a possibility we can pull this off without anybody knowing. Well, who we are, rather.
Do you have like a call sign? Like, do any fight? Do you like slash his head or something? Or leave like a little tag?
Yeah.
I just go, I kill someone and then just like spray paint.
Yeah.
Zorro.
Yeah.
Technically, Zoramash, if you wish, all we need you to do is do what you do best. Fight in the pits. From there, I can take those who are willing.
So you're saying I'm potentially completely,
Undeniably
I
not a
need,
part of it.
I need you and your fame. I need you to win the pit fight. I need you to, and I need you to get us invited to the casino for the after party. From there, I can take care of it with any of those who are willing to help.
well, I was gonna do the fight regardless. So for now, let's hear what you have to say.
Alright. So Magnus, he says, what I know about the vaults. The vaults are in the back room of the casino. To even get there, we need a key. That's probably the most difficult part. The safeguards hold the keys, and they are not allowed outside the casino. Although he does say, recently one was seen in your neck of the woods, actually, Zoramash, flaunting his key to the lower people. He has since disappeared. Yeah.
I believe we saw that.
Well, did you? Didn't happen to get a hold of that key, did you?
I didn't.
But that's difficult enough. We might have to deal with that when we actually get to the casino itself. The safeguards aren't allowed outside the casino, and it's too dangerous to ask around about it. I already know one person who has been asking around the city about the safeguards, and, well, last I heard, he is currently in the Lutame, which, from your perspective, the Lutame is the prison. Magnus also says, once we get through the door, there are 2 challenge rooms to check that we are who we pretend to be.
I love a good challenge.
One is a puzzle room. only the safeguards know the combinations to the puzzle. But I believe that there may be a key to figuring out the puzzle. We just have to steal the records of the design of the vaults.
Where will that be located?
Zormash, you know this. The gnome Rulin, the master of city planning. Rulin. Ruulin. You guys met him last session. Briefly, you ran into him. Very briefly. Rulin is the master of city planning. He would have records of everything that's built in the city.
So we need a key to get into the vault.
We need a key to get into the back room.
Key to get into the back room.
Yep, back room leads to the puzzle room.
Then we need the records to try and help understand
The
puzzle.
records would help, or we could attempt to get the information from the safeguard itself.
I think let's try getting the records first, and then we keep interrogation down to a minimum if
He
possible.
says, after the puzzle room, there is something that I've heard rumor of a riddle room. He says, I've heard of it. I assume there is some sort of riddle. I don't know what the riddle is or the answer. I think the safeguards may have information. Rulin's records may even have some indication of what the riddle may be. After that, we enter the vault itself.
Are there any tricks to getting out?
I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Yeah, we never do.
Do you think it's anti-magic?
Oh, well, we know it's anti-magic.
Given how my staff is failing to react to my command, yes.
If it's anti-magic, it could just be, like a perimeter-based effect. It might not cancel out all magic. I'm just concerned what would happen to you and I in an area that completely...
Look, I have no idea. This wasn't really... I kept this as a side plan, but my plan was to take one of the merchant lords hostage and force him to give me my staff back. I was working solo.
I actually like that plan.
That is not a bad plan. And I look at Magnus, and I'm like, you're a master of the arcane arts, are you not?
Some would call me that.
Now, my understanding of how anti-magic fields work
Mm-hmm.
is that it's a magical enchantment of runes to create that. Is that correct in this case, or at least assumed in this case?
Yes. It could be runes, it could be a spell that's placed on the area.
It could be enchanted artifacts or anything like that.
You also do know that there are several materials that are often used in building that could dampen magical effects.
Oh, we're talking like lead and other things. Iron.
My weakness is
Wood.
copper.
Yes. If it turns out that our issue
Copper?
in getting out is that there's runes of anti-magic and stuff, I have a way of dispelling certain magics. Do we think that's a possibility, or do you feel like they would have safeguarded against those?
It's very possible. Look, if it was me, I would think that they would put all their... I know teleportation in is cancelled out.
How much money do you have?
He's got at least 50 gold, I can tell you
50
that.
gold.
I wasn't talking to you. How much money do you have?
Huh?
On me?
No.
Access to?
Yes.
All the gold and funds of the Valkyr family.
Is that more than 1,000 gold?
Ooh, yeah.
Ballpark figure.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to think of ways we can do this legally.
Yeah, I know. I'm with
And
you
one
on
of
that.
those is that this is a casino.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that.
Sorry.
I do like to gamble.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that's what it,
How much
yeah.
is it?
Hundreds of thousands.
Oh fuck, why weren't you even helping him? I could just... I could take her hostage.
You could try.
I could certainly try. what I've done with the honeypot.
Like, you know, using their kind of what they're into against them. Like,
I don't know anything, but it must be what inspiration.
yeah.
I know it's about the betting.
So you know the Sun Lord is definitely into gambling. This is just one.
No, you know what I'm talking about honeypot. Like, he's into men, women. What are we talking?
I will just give you the information that you know. He's known to be a party monger, and playboy, gold and alcohol flows freely within the bounds of the casino. Although he is known to have no mercy or ceremony for cheaters. He has been seen with male and female consorts. You do know that the Empress, Silver Master of Coin and Trade, she runs coin and trade. She also is the one responsible for paying the Sunlit Corsairs. You know that she was a former consort of the Pirate King Salas Thran, who rules the port city of Landos. Former consort, and their relationship went sour. She left, stole one of his ships. Her other nicknames are No Mercy and Cutthroat. Then you have the Warmonger. He wears a black mask. He's Master of Secrets. You know that he mostly keeps to himself. He's a big fan of the fighting pits. You can often be seen watching from one of the many balconies. You know, that the Master Magic Mall can use.
Did we see him at all?
No, you did not notice him in the last one. Platinum Mask. You know that he's the Master of Secrets, and he is responsible and is very good at rooting out spies. As far as you can tell, he has
Sorry, besides the obviously, you know whether the Empress or the Warmonger ever frequent the casino as well, or is that?
I've never been allowed there myself, but what I have gathered is they do. The Sun Lord's often there, the Warmonger, he is seen sometimes. Their apartment in the capstone, they need to go through the casino to access. So they are seen walking around. The Empress is often seen at her bar/inn, the Lusty Mermaid.
Alright. Okay.
She uses that as sort of a headquarters to base her operation there. There is Brothel Boys.
I mean, not that I know. The weather's a bit bad, isn't it?
So is the plan now that you're going to kidnap one of these people and force them to, or bribe them, or...
I don't know if I want to kidnap such, but this is going to be such a dumb idea. Or any of us, you know, take two enemies, right? Fight, and try and actually get into the fight.
You know the finalist often gets invited to music.
And in which case, try and have, a different... Yeah, like could I, any of us, maybe try and get like a job with like the brothel, because I'm imagining that maybe things like a lab, and if you work with her, maybe you can be like a waitress in the casino, or something like that. I'm just trying to think of discreet ways of getting in.
I will just keep that in mind. It's 2 weeks travel across the country.
When's the game ending?
What things?
The fight.
The fights.
Probably within the next week.
Oh, well that's okay. Good. No, I know about. Yeah, but all of us are doing that.
Yeah. Just infiltrating a business can often take more time.
Yeah, you gotta
I'm not saying that
Is
it's
this
bad.
GTA Online? Running out next year.
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering, just because I'm just thinking about geeks about strengths. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I have been raised with nobility. I can be very persuasive. Not persuasive as in actually, as in like legit persuasive.
Oh, yeah. You haven't got the name of it.
Any more questions? I admit it's like my I don't drink
You get your stuff, you get whatever else is involved. That'll be the stuff.
That's fine, I have no trouble with that.
Full anonymity, I think is the right word.
I'm not gonna rat you out, I need my stuff back and you need me to come see Serena.
And you're gonna come with us to Serena.
I will come to and have a discussion with Serena. I can't guarantee that it will go well, or that she'll want me to see.
That's not our problem.
Yeah, we don't care about that. As long as you come back there, you can literally come back, just say hello, and go as far as we get. We're done.
Steal stuff back.
You could have met Sarah.
Well, I don't know who this person is. Did you?
Come and contact her.
I haven't got certain ways that people over long distances between
You haven't met.
Yeah.
Oh, well then I can't
Yeah, that's what I mean.
contact her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why we're
You do know that there in a city like this there would be magical services or something like that really be available.
Why do you think she'd be so helpful?
The whole reason we want Magnus is that she wants Magnus.
Yes, but if she could do it herself, why would she send us?
She probably didn't know it was missing this stuff.
Yeah. She thought it was going to be a quick week round and go and take it to her because she had to be
You know what?
She's
No matter
got
what
a
happens,
life going on.
I need to get ready for
Yeah,
a fight.
weeks.
And that is going to be our first point of call.
Yeah, let's do it.
When you make your decision, leave this and he puts it leave this in Thoramash's front. That's when I know that the blood brawl, the blood games, 6 months. You're just fighting in the mid-season battles.
Right.
The blood brawls are the fights to the death,
Yeah.
and they occur once a year for
Right. So how long until the fights that I'm doing?
2 or 3 days.
And
You've got you're now in the semi-finals.
oh, I want to do this.
Yeah,
Cool.
the games have been going for a couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
That's what that's why.
Mayor's made an exception for you because you are the
And you got around with us all the time. Just a couple of weeks.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to think about it. If you need me, you know how to get in contact with me somewhat. And he stands up.
Or in the bed.
Cedric doesn't sleep in the bed, he sleeps in the chest. Is that
Right,
Where,
well,
where
I-
are you going?
I think we're going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching.